Hello, and welcome back to the Journey from Cana. Recently, I was thinking about a video that Father Mike from Ascension Press put out a few years ago. If you haven't seen any of Father Mike's stuff, I would encourage you to go do so. He puts out usually 1 to 2 videos a week on different sort of topics and things that are beautiful about the Christian faith. They can really bring it home. He actually is the one that did the Bible in a year, and I think he's actually going currently through the Catechism in a year podcast. And so, anyway, good stuff. The video, though, I was specifically thinking of what he said is that many of us in this day and age would be what he would call greenhouse Christians, where our faith is nurtured and grown in the perfect environment. We live in a country where hunger is unknown for all intensive purposes. So is homelessness. I mean, if you're homeless or you're hungry, it's typically because you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Now, I'm not to say that there aren't hungry and poor in the world. Obviously, there are. That's not my point. My point being is that we live in a land of plenty. We live in a land of opportunity. We live in a land of freedom. We don't have to worry about people trying to kill us for proclaiming our faith. We don't have to worry about, how people are going to think and judge us because of the crucifix that we may wear. And if they do, the law is there to help us and protect us. Doesn't mean that things always go the way they're planned, but the point being is that it's the first time in history where these sort of things really aren't major problems that we're having to live with on a day-to-day basis. It's not like we get up in the morning wondering where it is we're going to get food to feed our children, or if somebody's going to come and kill us and try to steal our home from us. I mean, it's a wonderful time to be alive. And through that, we can sometimes forget about suffering. Especially when we don't necessarily get what we want. And it's in those moments when suffering can really kind of tell the difference between whether or not you're truly following our Lord. I mean, it's easy to say yes when you're full of the Spirit and things are going the way you want. I mean, you're getting promotions, you're getting raises, whatever the case may be. But what happens when those things disappear? What happens when you lose your job? Or you're temporarily not working and you still got bills to pay? Or what happens when you're hoping to grow your family and you're having yet another miscarriage? It's in those moments of pain, that you have a choice. Do you embrace God's will in your life, even though you don't understand, even though you can't really accept what it is that He has in mind? Do you, with the faith of a child, reach out and embrace our Lord through the suffering? Or in your anger, do you turn your back on Him? This can be a very difficult thing for many people, and it's a test of faith. And the important thing about it is that we have to stay true to Him, even in those moments of suffering. Recently, I did the video on what I love about being Catholic. And one of the things about Catholics versus other Protestant denominations, generally speaking, is the embrace of suffering. That's why Catholics have the crucifix. We want to remember the price, and that even God did not prevent Himself from suffering. And just because we're suffering in this life and things don't go as planned, that doesn't mean that we've done something wrong. It doesn't mean that God's forsaken us. What it means is that anything and everything that He allows to happen, whether it's by His choice or just through His permissive will by not stopping it, is meant to draw us closer to Him. So it's in those moments that we should stop, that we should pray, doubly so, and embrace whatever it is our Lord has in store for us, whether we understand it or not. He says for us to run to Him and to have faith in Him like that of a child has in their parents. And the child loves their parents, regardless of what's happening. When a child looks at their parents, they see protection, they see food, they see all the things that they need to survive and to thrive and to grow. They completely depend on their parents. And that is what God calls us to do to him. And just like when something happens with our children that breaks our heart, when things happen to us, it breaks God's heart. But what do we learn from that? When a child burns themselves because they touched something that was hot, they learn not to touch it. And so when things happen to us that we don't understand, that we don't expect, what is it that we're supposed to learn from? What are we supposed to get from it? How are we supposed to grow spiritually? Are we supposed to trust God more? Are we supposed to embrace the suffering? It's times like those that I really think to Saint Faustina and Saint Padre Pio. And there's numbers of saints that have similar sort of stories. And they talk about how they're suffering, what they go through, and how they persevered in their suffering. Padre Pio questioned, challenged. They thought he was crazy. They thought he was hurting himself because of the stigmata, and that he was doing it for attention. They even locked him away and tried to prevent him from talking to people. Did he protest? No. Did he ask for the pain to go away? No. He asked that the pain remain, but the wounds be hidden, so that people wouldn't think he was crazy, and so that people wouldn't try to reject him. It wasn't that he was trying to reject God or trying to avoid whatever gifts God had for him. He wanted to continue to suffer while doing God's work. And so, that's the lesson from our own sufferings. And so, as a greenhouse Christian, when something happens and a rock is thrown and breaks your greenhouse, how do you respond? Do you walk away? Do you get angry and talk about how unfair the world is? Do you try to find someone to blame? Or do you look at this as an opportunity to maybe build a bigger greenhouse? To replace the window? To press some fresh crops? To salvage what you have and then build something even newer, better next time? It's a difficult ask, but it's the one that the saints showed us as the path. And we can even see this in the New Testament. Saint Paul, for preaching the gospel, was beaten. He was stoned. I mean, if you're not familiar with the idea, it's not basically like throwing rocks at somebody. It's throwing big, huge rocks and boulders, and you're chunking them at this person, and the intent is to kill them. You're not trying to basically just run them off. You're trying to kill them. And this happened multiple times to St. Paul for preaching the gospel. One time it was so bad that he had huge amounts of injuries that he carried with him for the rest of his life. The scars and thorns that he mentions. And when he prays for God to take them away, what does he say? My power is made perfect in weakness, in humility. And maybe that's the lesson that God has for us. Whatever the case may be, the next time that you're having to embrace suffering, the next time something doesn't go according to the way that you want, the way that you will, I would encourage you not to get mad, not to get angry. Don't question and turn your back on God. Those are natural human emotions. But that's not what God is calling you to do. What God is calling you to do is to turn to Him, to fall on your knees, and to ask for His love, to ask for His embrace, to ask for His kindness, and to ask for His love and healing. And it is in those moments of weakness, when you turn to Him, that your faith can truly grow. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe so that we may continue the journey from Cana.